5, Andrew Callahan. I'm not sure why I mixed this guy up with Brandon Buckingham in the title. It's Andrew Callahan. I for some reason mix these guys up a lot. But yeah, let's see what Portland's up to. I haven't been here in a long time.
The government, Kristi Noem, Donald Trump, and all those people on the Epstein list. Welcome, I am a domestic terrorist, anarchist Antifa here.
Get the out of my face with your film. You feel me? Go the over there.
Oh my gosh. Is this H3H3? Is that Ethan? Why does he look so much like him? He's got the build of him. He's got, I don't know, the goofy Spider-Man mask. Like, you could have got one of those masks that you pull over your entire head. Instead, he's got like the Walmart $5, 10. It's probably more than $5 these days. I mean,
you too, motherfucker.
Fuck you, fat ass. Come over my side. Let's see what happens.
No one's ever killed their way to peace. I don't think we're gonna start that with that energy here. So.
No, nobody's. That energy's definitely not in Portland, right? People don't die in Portland. Is that what he's saying? Is that what he's trying to say? I don't know. When I was here, every single minute of the day, I felt like I was in fear of my life because people would carry knives. They didn't have enough money for guns, but they would carry knives. And I would hear a lot about stabbings.
Is this America? The land of the free.
Evict ICE, abolish ICE.
I have no job and I got all day to practice guitar, but I'm not good at it because I do drugs.
Being lied to. This is a peaceful city and has been for a while.
Oh my god. Is this like a Star Wars con? I want to see something that like is absolutely insane. It just looks like these protesters are actually just dressing up in their everyday keep Portland weird garb. It's like a 90s thing. They got to keep Portland in the 90s or something like that. And that's why it's like he's wearing Star Wars stuff. He's a big Star Wars guy because if you're not interested in anything 90s, you don't got any friends here.
Protest is a First Amendment right.
In the words of Eminem, I am whatever you say I am, Kay. But I think we all know what's going on. Like they need a civil war, especially now the Epstein files are going to be released. And so that's what they're doing.
This is not what America is about. This is not what the military is about. Military people who come down here and get involved should be ashamed of themselves.
It's been amazing to like listen to people call this place a war zone. There are times that it does feel like that, and it does look like that. But it's only when they come out and make it one.
Kristi Noem is.
It's a war zone. Everybody fighting a war zone. Bro, Portland is not anything. Like, the people there could never turn it into a war zone. That's why I'm so, like, surprised to see anything happening. I hear about, like, burning buildings and stuff. That's not like these guys. Then again, they did make every single drug legal here.
In here looking for a rebellion that doesn't exist.
No, I love Kristi Noem. I love what she does. I think she's gorgeous. She did shoot a dog, right? Yeah. I don't know about that part.
As far as I remember, the quote was because the dog was misbehaving and she couldn't bother to figure out how to train it. So
pick a side. Are you against animal abuse or do you love animal abuse? I don't know about that part. Like, bro, you don't know? What do you mean you don't know? What are you trying to say that you don't? I can't make up my mind if shooting a dog is bad. Like, what?
Nothing like a good pepper spray.
I'm here because I stand against death camps.
See that guy? This guy.
Nothing like a good pepper spray.
I'm here.
This guy represents all of us Portlandians. Every single one of the homeless people in Portland. It's the body hair, the unkempt, the everything about this guy screams Portland. The bra.
Because I stand against death camps. We're putting people in death camps, feeding them raw meat and bunk stack.
The vampire teeth.
5 high. They don't let them see the light of day more than 1 hour a month. And all this just to enrich the terrorist CEO of Geo Group.
Geo Group has hired an army of lobbyists in 17 states while donating to over 400 candidates.
In 2017, Geo donated $225,000 to the Trump PAC. Later that year, they landed a $110 million ICE detention contract. The contract pays per head per day. So the more people locked up, the more money Geo makes.
Music heals everything, and it'll be here after the nation's gone. So in the meantime, it'd be nice if we figured out how to care for the earth and care for each other.
All right, what's up, guys? We have just arrived in war-torn.
There he is. There's the guy I keep confusing with this other guy, Brian, but I'm so sorry, Andrew. Like, I had to... It's because I was watching Tom Dark for such a long time, and you guys do kind of similar reporting on certain areas, but I guess Andrew Callahan has a more, like, any type of news rather than Vernon Buckingham being, like, mostly rappers and like, gang activity.
War-ravaged Portland, Oregon. As you guys can tell, it is absolutely fucking bananas out here. Over here, we have about 15 anti-Trump No Kings protesters speaking their mind about everything going on with ICE.
Hold up.
Anti-Trump No Kings.
Portland people are some of the most interesting people you'll ever see. I dead ass, if I find the, like, want to even put the Master Roshi guy that I saw a Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Z without his turtle shell walking around in Portland. I swear I still have the picture of it. I could put it in my Discord if you guys want to see it. Just ask me.
Protesters speaking their mind about everything going on with ICE and the perhaps soon-to-be National Guard or California State Guard occupation of this particular cross-street intersection.
Whoa. What? Also, nice jacket, my guy. Is that wax on it? Like, how'd you get it so shiny? It's probably all the garbage juice on the side of the streets. You can see all the garbage juice. This isn't rain. It didn't rain. No, this is just garbage juice. This is just extra excrement from people living on the street. So I'm guessing this is what Trump sent the, and these are like smoke grenade guns or something, or rubber bullets or something. And this is, they're fighting back against, So for anybody who doesn't know, apparently, I haven't seen it yet, but buildings have been burned to the ground in the name of protesting against ICE or something. I'm not sure. That's why I'm watching this video. I need to know, because this is kind of my hometown. This is where I grew up from 14 to 16.
And over here we have a couple different media members like myself, my sort of extended family co-workers, speaking their mind about what the heck is going on. Now, if you guys can't tell from my tone, I'm being a bit sarcastic. Portland, Oregon is a beautiful, amazing place with...
It is. I used to hang out right here. You see underneath that bridge? I used to hang out there next to the water. There's boats that go through. See the little boats? You could ride the boats if you had enough money. Nobody has enough money. The state fair is usually like right here. And I believe if I can find the Morrison, I used to live in the Morrison somewhere. If anybody knows what that is. It's over here in the city part, like the bigger city part. This is like tinier poor area and then rich area over here because they have the state fair around like this. It's just on the grass. Like they pull out the Ferris wheel. It looks beautiful. It's probably the best time of year. It's probably right around this time right now, October.
A lot to offer. It's also been historically the heart of some pretty wild protest over the course of the past.
I never got to go to the state fair. I didn't have money.
20 or 30 years, but 2020 was the real main year. You guys remember 2020, the pandemic, the George Floyd protests?
If you don't remember, here's a quick look back in time that should help explain a bit more about the origins of President Trump's grudge against Portland, which I feel qualified to speak about because I was there. So Portland, protest-wise, simply goes harder than other cities do.
I don't remember seeing any fire in the street. But that just might be because I have a bad memory. I do remember seeing, like, naked people. Like, people just straight up naked. And they weren't being arrested. The people who got arrested were people who were actually causing violence. That's how, like, bad it was. The police would only arrest the people who actually have committed a crime. And I think it's, like, legal to run around in with your thing out, you know? Like, it's a wild place. It's probably one of the most wild cities in America. If not the most wild city in America, because of the leniency in the government. The government that runs this place is non-existent. They just don't listen to the people. They don't help anyone. It's just the people who are running the city. It's not the government. Like the cops there don't want to be cops because there's so many like people to arrest.
Dude, if your dad's a cop, like fucking punch him in the face. At least 50 times.
As did Seattle before
Wait, was that the streamer? Is this that? Is this that? I feel like this is that streamer who wears like a burqa or something.
Like fucking punch him in the face. At least 50 times.
As did Seattle before gentrification.
Their arms are actually fastened into these concrete containers.
I don't know. She just sounded and looked like her. I don't know. It's probably not her. She probably doesn't leave the house. She probably has a wheelchair or something. Can't wheel it out of the house.
It gets a little uncomfortable. I could have dressed better.
In some ways, it's comparable to the European protest model. It's not about looting and getting free shit. It's more like a mass mobilization of thousands of people that appear from thin air at a moment's notice, equipped with laser beams, leaf blowers, shields, gas masks, incendiary devices, and sometimes other weapons, with the purpose of either disrupting government operations or confronting opposition in the streets. Most of the friends that I had growing up who dove into this world headfirst were from the anarchist, bike messenger, vegan barista, and punk rock variety, and their opposition was typically white nationalist, Christian fundamentalist, sovereign citizen types from the nearby suburbs who would come into town to antagonize. And the black bloc, or the anti-surveillance uniforming you often see them wearing, was initially a tool that was developed by Marxists in Europe in the 80s to avoid being identified and thereby doxxed for their affiliation to radical political groups. But to bring it back to my hometown one more time, it was Seattle in the late 90s that led to the rise in domestic popularity of Black Bloc, which was the de facto uniform of many of the some 40,000 protesters who showed up in downtown Seattle to protest the World Trade Organization's annual conference. Citing the devastating impacts of economic globalization on American labor unions and of course the rise in third world labor exploitation by these evil transnational corporations. Labor unions and of course the rise in third world labor exploitation by these.
Yo, it's the caves. They be hanging out in the caves. This is so real. I used to do this.
Evil transnational corporations. But still, there was no explicitly named Antifa group that existed until about 8 years later when Rose City Antifa opened up in Portland, Oregon.
Rose City Antifa, and they are amazing researchers. And like that is like their like whole wheelhouse, and they do like exhaustive.
Wait. Is that Andrew or is that Brandon? No, that's Andrew. That's Andrew. My bad.
Research on these people, and their website is a wealth
I always
of
get them mixed
information.
up.
And they do a lot of social networking and social
Maybe it's the
tracking. And
hair.
like, you know, every time Joey Gibson stands up and says he's not a racist because of XYZ, you can then go to their like website and like see pictures of him with like all of these different white supremacists and like overtly hateful, like people that engage in overtly hateful ideology and groups. So
Dude, Andrew's fucking Borat suit over here. He's got the ding ding ding.
So they do a really good job of just like that kind of research and documenting. So we use that as a resource, and then we have our events.
Wait, dude, he's skipping through this so quick. Michael Dorsey was particularly unmasked during Oregon City Pride while fighting the Proud Boys. Proud Boys, I haven't heard that in a while. Dorsey's hairline in these old pictures pre-Miss Rose City. Identical hairline to the picture of Oregon City. Yep.
Documenting. So we use that as a resource, and then
Jesus, that hairline.
have our events.
Dude looks like he was speeding in his Prius. Meow. His hair's just gone.
Here's an interview I conducted a while back with the lead organizers of a group called Pop Mob, or Popular Mobilization, who are responsible for a great deal of the anti-fascist organizing that's taken place in Portland since 2018.
So these guys would every single day they would group up at the park and they would just lay out towels and chill there all day and occupy the park in order to like make it their own business, in order to like preach in a way to people. And they would just be very flashy, draw in people with money, with attention to donate to their cause, to their organization, their non-profit, quote unquote. And who knows if it was a non-profit or not at the time, but they would have people come into the park and give them money in order to support these ideas that they would just spout and give no proof of.
My name is Effie Baum. I am one of the organizers with Pop Mob.
Yeah, and my name is Seamus. I'm another organizer with Pop Mob.
Can y'all tell me about Pop Mob's association with anti-fascist organizing?
On July 30th of 2018, there was a Proud Boy Patriot Prayer rally that happened downtown Portland. It is now kind of colloquially referred to as the Battle of Portland. And it came a year after the Jeremy Christian murders had happened, and there'd been a huge Patriot Prayer rally in downtown. This was about 1 year later. Over the course of the year, the opposition had like shrunk. So their rallies were getting bigger and bigger, and people showing up to oppose them was getting smaller. And so it was a small group of anti-fascists that showed up that day, a smaller like black bloc, and they had a lot of Proud Boys. And Ethan Nordine, who's like one of the Proud Boys from up in Washington, he goes by Rufio, was caught on camera punching a person who was in block and knocking them out.
Yo, he was winding up like Donkey
Rufio
Kong.
was caught on camera punching.
This guy's little stick. Oh my god. What is that gonna do against this guy? Bro, this guy looks like he lifts.
A person.
It's like swinging a stick. Do you see the wind up there?
Boys from up in Washington, he goes by Rufio, was caught on camera.
Bro, he's got the Donkey Kong. Fucking.
A person who was in block and knocking them out.
Up,
and that
Holy
video
shit.
went.
Dude knows how to punch. My guy is on that creatine. What is going on here, bro? This guy should not even be in this city. This guy should be running this city. He could lift this city on his back with how fucking fake and plastic everything is here.
Viral all over the internet and was like celebrated as like this like, you know, kind of like ideal moment.
The Rufio punch, that's the most legendary punch. The punch heard around the world.
You were in the zone, man. You're like, it's like a video game.
Oh my gosh, Alex Jones.
Gavin McInnes says, you know, violence isn't great, but justified violence is amazing.
He literally knocked the soul out of this little soy boy Antifa.
It was attacking him with a baton.
Yes, it was attacking him with a baton.
Okay, knocked the soul out of him. I don't think there was any soul in them to begin with the way he just like slouched over. I mean, if you look at it, that's not a knockout punch. That's not, like, if you look at this, bro kind of fell over like he was a domino. Look at this stance. Look at that. Dude wanted to fall over in defense. Like you're not gonna be able to fight this guy. This guy's got both of his feet pointing straight forward and you're walking sideways like you're a Mario character.
Punching
Watch.
a person who was in block and knocking them
Barely
out.
oh, he pushed him over. He pushed him over, guys. Dude did not get knocked out. He wanted to fall over.
And
He's
that
still
video went
moving, by the way.
Viral all over the internet.
He's just like, he did something to me. I can't wait for the lawsuit money. I know these people, bro. They are the, I feel like this is the birthplace of everything we hate about protesters who, like, only protest in order to be in danger to get money. Like, this city is known for that.
Was like celebrated as like this like, you know, kind of like ideal moment.
The Rufio punch, that's the most legendary punch. The punch heard around the world.
You were in the zone, man. You're like, it's like a video game.
Gavin McInnes says, you know, violence isn't great, but justified violence is amazing.
He literally knocked the soul out of this little soy boy Antifa.
It was attacking him with a baton.
Yes, it was attacking him with a baton, absolutely. It was self-defense, 100%.
That rally in particular was really violent. That person ended up with a skull fracture. And so a lot of us that had been like doing organizing in the city for a long time were like, we need to do something. Like, we need to encourage people to show up. We can't let these people keep coming into our city and like causing this kind of violence and attacking people. And we had seen what had happened in Boston after Unite the Right, when some of those organizers went to Boston and tried to organize a similar, like, causing.
I'm sorry. I'm just having fun here. We're not trying to cater to the news audience. I want to just try something. Cause look at his suit. Okay, look at this suit.
Little soy boy Antifa.
And then right here. Yo, Andrew, you gotta do this. Anyway.
Like, we need to encourage people to show up. We can't let these people keep coming into our city and like causing this kind of violence and attacking people. And we had seen what had happened in Boston after Unite the Right, when some of those organizers went to Boston and tried to organize a similar march. 40,000 people in Boston showed up to shut them down. And so we said, we need the same thing here. We need a popular mobilization that tries to build a broad-based movement.
Guys, I have gauges. Most people here have gauges in Portland.
Of everyday anti-fascists to show up and say that this is not welcome in our city. So Joey Gibson had planned, he was running for Senate back then. Why he was having Senate campaign events in a state that he wasn't representing, I'll leave you to figure out for yourself. But he had an event planned for that August 4th. And so we started organizing to have a huge event in opposition to his August 4th rally. And that was the birth of Pop Mob.
So Pop Mob began as a response to what was like alt-right violence.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of anti-fascist work
Auditioning for the
happens
Jetsons movie.
not in the streets. It happens by outing these people in their communities, letting people know where they work, letting people know where they live, identifying them, identifying the behavior that they are engaged in, and like really raising that cost of participation for what it means to be like somebody who's engaged in that kind of like hateful activity. And then in addition to that, when they do show up in mass, those are recruitment opportunities for them. So by showing up and outnumbering them and showing that like this is a community that is not going to put up with that bullshit, that is how we're going to stop them from continuing to do this. And this is a long history of this, especially in Portland.
As Effie explains, the conflict between white supremacists and anti-racists.
Whoa, that is a scary
Of this,
image.
especially in Portland.
As Effie explains, the conflict between...
Damn, they got ghosts in the street? And there's Tom Ford just like, hey, I love making my employees...
white supremacists and anti-racists in the Rose City goes back far before Trump.
In the late 80s, there was mid-80s, there's a really thriving and active neo-Nazi skinhead racist scene here in Portland. And there was a lot of like white supremacist overtly...
This was happening in Portland? Tell law enforcement officers just what Mystic organization proposes to do in city of Portland. Yeah, they call themselves wizards. They look like executioners.
white nationalist gangs that were in the city, and one by the name of Eastside White Pride, 4 of the members of that murdered an Ethiopian exchange student who was a college student at PSU in 1988. And it was kind of like a tipping point. There had already been a lot of violence that had led up to this point. His murder was not the first, but it was kind of like this moment that sparked a lot more opposition, and it ended up leading to a huge coalition of organizations in Portland that then for the next several years worked to organize against those white supremacist and neo-Nazi groups and essentially chased them out of Portland and chased them back underground. And that kind of organizing didn't happen here again, like that kind of neo-Nazi white supremacist overt organizing didn't happen here again for a long time because the anti-fascist like counter opposition was successful. And so we are basically just trying to do the same thing. And in the 2 years that we've been organizing against patriarchy,
I can't understand anything. She sounds like a tape being fast forward. Why wear this shirt? What about is he trying to be like a... Oh, he's got the black nails too. He's trying to like burglarize. Dude, I'd be wary of this guy. He's trying to like Sly Cooper sneak up behind you and pickpocket like with the French accordion playing in the background.
Prayer and the Proud Boys, their attendance at their events has dwindled.
So here's where it gets a bit confusing when talking about 2020 when everything popped off in Portland, and where the mainstream media seems totally unable to identify any nuance whatsoever. Okay, so while it was true that Rose City Antifa and other coordinated, formally branded groups were in Portland engaging in direct action protests, it is also true that there were just as many, if not more, self-identified anti-fascist protesters from the Pacific Northwest where this culture took hold, with no connection to branded Antifa groups out there in the streets wearing black bloc, doing their thing in Portland. This is of course not the most convenient narrative. Liberal media says that...
What does fascist mean? I literally do not know what fascists mean. I hear Hasanabi saying this all the time. A fascist is an inherent of fascism. What? Simple terms, thank you. Absolute power, a single dictator, extreme nationalism, suppression of opposition, militarism. So these guys stand for equality, but they go and take away freedom from businesses.
Antifa is just a word for anti-fascist, which is cap, but conservative media, on the other hand, says that everyone wearing black bloc is a paid agitator being bankrolled by globalist financier George Soros, who
I think most of this stems from poverty. Like I think it's one, like, is Portland the capital of poverty? Like, not the most homeless city. Has a large... New York City has a large... Okay, that makes sense. Because it's closer to the east, right? So everybody goes to the east, they lose all their money, gambling, doing whatever. And then because it's just more... It's more business oriented on the east, I believe. is like New York City, it's just constantly ads everywhere. Like you will lose your money very easily in New York City because the wages are bad too. Jobs, there's not enough jobs, and the jobs that are available, nobody wants to do because they've never developed the skills to have the confidence to do it. New York City has the largest. Los Angeles, and Portland is the third. Wait, no. Oh. Wow. 140,000? Man, this is me in Portland. This was literally me in Portland.
Apparently has plans to destroy Western civilization through the proliferation of open border policy and, I guess, gay TV. As far as the conservative theory goes, Trump and many of his allies, I think, at least they pretend, to actually believe that. And less than a month ago, took things a step further with an executive order, designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization in an official White House briefing. And shortly after, announced plans to deploy federal troops, the National Guard, and later the California State Guard to Portland to defend the ICE field office, which is in the safe and sanitized South Waterfront area, where very few protests were taking place. This, to me, as a journalist who knows about the situation, was a bit confusing. I mean, SEO-wise, Antifa hadn't been talked about in over 5 years, and had their last real presidential mention back in the August of 2020 when Trump deployed DHS and Border Patrol agents to allegedly help the police secure the courthouse downtown from protesters who were demanding the radical defunding and/or abolition of the Portland Police Bureau. But as time went on, things really began to wind down. I mean, really, as I continued to cover that subculture for the year that followed the George Floyd murder, numbers just...
What the fuck?
As I continued to cover that subculture for the year that followed the...
Me and my gorillas. Wait, hold up. Hold up, I got you. I got you, Andrew. I love that song. It's just some dude going ham on the flute.
Within maybe a year of the killing. And just to clarify, I'm not saying that was because of laziness or lack of motivation or something. I mean, 3 major stated anti-fascist landmarks were achieved during that.
Yo, is that laser? That's like a laser projector up there. I went to go see a Yachty concert here, like Lil Yachty. I know that, I think it was Young Gravy just performed there. Like, a lot of people perform in the same little area, this little room. Absolute chaos, though. And this is like a venue. It's not like an outside venue. It was like an indoor thing. Absolute chaos. Everybody drenched in water, like, people pushing each other. Like, there's no... The policing here is so minuscule, and it needed this thing from Trump to send the military here. I believe that it did need that, unless... the policing did get better, but when I was there was literally no policing, and if you did get hurt, it was your own fault for being in that predicament. Like, people did not see it that way, but that is how I saw it that way, and that's how I survived, I believe. Like, I was living in a tent under a bridge, and sometimes in the woods, right underneath the rain.
Protest movement. Firstly, Trump was not re-elected in 2021, which made way for a centrist alternative.
I think they called it Mushroom City or something, like, or Magic Mushroom Town or something, because there was like pipes and Mario like drawings and graffiti everywhere. I think that's where it was, like, right next to, right across from the Oregon Ducks stadium.
Who was deemed to be reasonably acceptable until Gaza cracked off. Secondly, most of the right-wing groups like Patriot Prayer and the Proud Boys, who frequently use Portland as a venue for their flag waves and free speech rallies, thereby spiritually demanding the presence of Antifa, were decimated and structurally fractured by charges that stemmed, of course, from the January 6th Capitol riot. And thirdly, Derek Chauvin was convicted of murder in the April of 2021.
So now we're back. It's been a year of vengeance. Trump is back in power, and all of Trump's enemies are definitely feeling the smoke. Not just on a city level, but you got New York Times getting sued, Paramount getting sued, YouTube getting sued. Trump is actually winning most of these lawsuits, and now he's taking revenge on cities that hated him back in the day. So now we're here, 2:30 p.m., got the Fred Meyer flannel on, gonna talk to this guy over here, figure out what's
Fred
going
Meyer,
on.
Carhartt
Excuse me,
flannel,
sir,
probably
what
like
the
80
heck's
bucks.
going on?
I like to watch the shit show.
Yeah. What have you seen so far?
Nothing. Not today. It's too beautiful.
What's the most beautiful thing about Portland, Oregon?
Oh man, our family's been here from the 1850s. This is all. I think this is all fucking stupid, personally. Everybody calls me a Nazi because I'm white. I just want love.
It's important to note that in the midst of this chaos, ICE operations are still continuing as normal at the Portland field office. They've just changed their entrance to the other side of the building, where every so often...
What the fuck? Why is dude staring him down so hard?
Portland field office. They've just changed their entrance to the other side of the building.
Dude, Thor is checking him out.
Where every...
Bro is... What is going on here? Dude knows too. He's like... Dude, this city is so freaking weird.
So often, undocumented migrants arrive to either apply for their worker's permit or begin the self-deportation.
That's crazy that your cameraman got that on.
Process.
¿De dónde eres?
De Guatemala.
¿Y qué piensas sobre eso?
Y en el caso mío, pues yo estoy viniendo a cumplir con mis leyes para que todo salga bien. Porque es mejor venir uno a presentarse y no fallar, ¿va? Porque si uno falla, pues las cosas se ponen difíciles. Ajá, entonces mi deber es mejor venir a cumplir con la ley, presentarme y que todo salga bien.
Tú no tienes papeles, ¿no?
No, yo no tengo.
Whoa. Whoa. Dude spoke some pretty good Spanish just there. And what's up, Bugatti?
Papeles.
¿Y cuántos meses tienes aquí en los Estados Unidos?
Oh, pues apenas tengo 1 año, 4 meses.
1 año, 4 meses.
Sí.
¿Estás en la ciudad de Guatemala o...?
I had no idea that Andrew could speak Spanish so fluently. He's never done this. I don't think. Maybe I missed the video they did, but this is impressive.
Apenas tengo 1 año, 4 meses.
1 año, 4 meses.
Sí.
¿Estás en la ciudad de Guatemala o en el campo o dónde?
Es en una aldea.
Okay. ¿Y por qué viajaste a los Estados Unidos?
Oh, pues por muchos problemas de allá de Guatemala, ¿va? Entonces, pues aquí veo que todo está calmado.
Problemas como delincuencia, cosas como eso.
Sí, así es. Por eso mismo que uno busca cómo salir de allá mejor y que yo estoy cumpliendo con lo que yo he prometido con ellos de venirme a presentar. Ajá.
¿Y es difícil para encontrar trabajo sin papeles?
Pues la verdad no sé, va, porque yo no he intentado buscar porque, como le digo, no quiero meterme a problemas. Es mejor, como le digo, cumplir hasta que ellos...
It sounds like he's struggling with himself right now. I don't know why I haven't looked for work. It should be easy, even without papers. That's what he's saying. Like, it's probably because of the ICE thing going on now. I'm not sure if this is current or before. He's wearing the blue flannel, so this should be like now. This is 6 days ago this was made.
Me autorizan un permiso de
Or
trabajo
uploaded.
que andar haciendo cosas.
¿Qué tipo de trabajo quieres hacerlo?
No, pues aquí como dicen va a lo que me salga despuesito.
¿No tienes miedo sobre ICE?
Pues la verdad no, pues porque como decimos va de que a lo que Dios haga su voluntad.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are afraid. Yes, you are afraid. I mean, God's will shall be done. That means that you have fear and you're just letting God take care of it.
Hopefully that interview gives you some insight as to maybe why ICE has been engaging in such intimidating public behavior, snatching people off the streets in masks, chasing day laborers through parking lots, the construction of something called Alligator Alcatraz, and releasing ASMR videos from deportation flights. Maybe they are using terroristic tactics in an effort to cause migrants to engage with the formal immigration system, whether it be through requesting a permit or self-deportation. I've mentioned self-deportation twice now because, according to a recent DHS report, 80% of the some 2 million people who have been deported since Trump's re-election have done it themselves on the CBP app to begin the legal citizenship process from their home country. This is no doubt a direct result of the climate of fear ICE has created. But additionally, Trump also launched an initiative called Project Homecoming that offers a free flight home and $1,000 for every single migrant who self-deports. I truly wonder if our new friend is still in the country. So if you ask some people in the mainstream media, Portland, Oregon is a war.
I wonder how much $1,000 is in Mexico. How much is 1,000 USD in Mexican pesos?
$1,000 equals 18,454 Mexican pesos and 60 centavos.
What can you buy with 1,000 Mexican pesos in Mexico? This is reminding me of like Resident Evil 4. Approximately for $54 can buy a week's worth of groceries for ooh. So 1,000 is like $100 in the US. I feel like $100 in the US can buy like this is 10 to 15 meals. I mean, that's not bad. Like you can definitely live off 10 to 15 meals, at least one person. I don't know about a family. Families are probably spending like $200 in the US for groceries. So $1,000 is an okay start, but it's not like a lot.
A ravaged city where the US military is fighting the good fight against terrorists on every street corner. I don't know if that's true, but it could be.
The problem with the media's coverage of ICE protests here and across the country is the problem with mainstream media overall. Massive conglomerates pushing dueling narratives to fit their own agenda, sensationalized headlines to boost engagement, and criminalized wording.
Every single one of these channels is exactly the fucking same.
Sensationalized headlines to boost engagement, and criminalized wording meant to shape the public perception.
So naturally, before we put boots on the ground,
and then you got Andrew's channel. Look at this.
Wording meant to
Look at all
shape
these
the
offices
public
and
perception.
everything.
So
That
naturally,
inspired by everybody, and then you got Andrew's channel, all bright and blue and contrasting, and dudes wearing a normal, you know, casual attire rather than being fucking in a suit, trying to act like you're better than everybody else.
Before we put boots on the...
Oh, I'm more presentable because I'm wearing a suit. Fuck off. I wish that monkey suits or whatever they wear, like these suits. That's what they call them. They call them suits. Because everybody hates people who put themselves above everybody else. I look nicer, more presentable, more professional for wearing a suit. Like, just... Why can't anybody just wear regular ass clothes? Why does clothing have to do anything? Like, unless it's a uniform.
Ground, we get informed. Using what, you might ask? Ground news. For example, the left-wing Mother Jones magazine headline reads, Trump says he'll send troops to Portland and sanction full force against Americans. Meanwhile, the right-wing Breitbart headline states, Trump authorizes troops to protect Portland ICE facilities from Antifa. Not too hard to spot the bias there, buddy. Ground news.
They show you stories from across the political spectrum with context like bias, factuality, and most importantly, ownership.
Something else that doesn't get enough attention is how many news stories aren't actually newsworthy at all. They're fake or extremely
Did anybody see the Asmongold listening to Trump's like, I don't know, recent thing? Probably yesterday I saw it. I don't know if it was released yesterday, but yesterday, I think it was released yesterday. Trump is talking, he's like, can we get some relevant questions? Relevant questions would be nice. And then the reporters come out. Of course, they don't have any relevant questions exactly. And one of the guys, he says he's hopeless, and then oh, he's so hopeless, not that guy. And he doesn't want to talk to him. And then some chick asks like a stupid, asinine question that has nothing to do with anything or his presidency or anything. And she says, and Trump says, you wouldn't know anything about that. You fake news, and like he's about to say bitch or something. Like, it's
inflated news stories, and that is why ground news shows you numerically how many actual sources are covering a story, so you can determine if an article is legit or just echo chamber algorithmic nonsense.
Ground news also tracks the ownership of publications, so you can see for yourself who's pushing what narrative and where else they might be doing that.
For all of those reasons, I and everybody here at Channel 5 trust Ground News to help us cut straight through the noise. And right now, you can subscribe for a 40% off the unlimited access Vantage plan, bringing the cost down to less than $5 a month. Just scan the QR code here or click the link below to sign up. Supporting Ground News helps support...
Who knows? Maybe ICE is coming to your city. And maybe you need this app.
us, which means we can keep making videos like this and giving y'all coverage that isn't watered down or dictated by corporate interests. So check it out, stay informed, and most importantly, don't let the media tell you what to think. All right, back to the streets of Portland.
Do you think maybe there's any other reasons that people might think you're a Nazi besides being Caucasian? Because I'm Caucasian, never been called a Nazi.
Oh, dude, I hear it all the time. No, just because I'm white. White and I stand up for my rights. That's it.
White, you stand up for your rights and you get like a shaved head. Almost. I mean... who knows what this guy does when he's not on camera, but like... being
like
called
white
a
people are
Nazi,
getting-
I'm sure it's thrown around a lot there. Especially when people have no hair.
In the short end of the stick?
Yeah, for me anyway. My personal opinion.
It's just a
But
stereotype.
I grew up with all the cultures.
It's
I grew up black,
stupidity, but
brown.
it's a stereotype.
Grew up with the Mexican. I grew up
if
in...
you look like... It's like if somebody wore like all biker stuff and like a leather jacket with no sleeves and had tattoos all over him. One says mom with a big arrow going through it, and he's just like a big roided up bearded guy, and he's got like a beer belly and he's got like a shaved head. Those guys would probably be called Nazis for no reason, or Hell's Angels or something. Like, people are afraid of them, but it's just genetics. I mean, it's not like somebody's trying to look a certain way. Then again, if you wear like a white sheet over yourself this Halloween, and you get called a not cool person, the KKK or whatever, you will I mean, it might happen. It's just stereotypical. It's not like you're trying to not... you're just trying to look like a ghost, right? But your hat's just a little too pointy. I'm guessing that's going to happen. Like, I see it happening right now.
Hillsboro.
Oh shit.
I love all the colors, man.
Yeah.
But they hate on me, but it's fine. Still love who I love. I got trans friends. I got gay friends.
Bunch of retarded fucking trannies out here. I live in this fucking building.
Oh, here we go.
This is 120 days of this bullshit.
Wait, was that the Morrison?
Fucking trannies out here. I live in this fucking building. This is 120 days of this bullshit. Fuck these people. They're trying to troll me, and I don't care. I think it's funny. They can't troll me, but I don't give a shit. Fuck them. Fuck them all. I'm gonna be here when the Patriots come back tonight, and then hopefully we'll fuck these people up. They're gonna fuck them up, and we're gonna get them the fuck out of this goddamn neighborhood.
Portland, Oregon, where it looks like
Oregon.
a war zone.
When Trump said it was a war zone,
it looks like a circus with squirt guns. I haven't seen any gun violence yet, except for like the military having them, and who knows what happened there. I don't have that app. Maybe if I had that Channel 5 ground news app, then I would know what's going on here. Instead, I just watch videos because it's easier to learn this way.
zone, he's being a little, facetious about it. It's not actually a war zone. It's not Afghanistan. It's not Iraq. It's been pretty peaceful. I mean, you had the flag burning. Then it got a little tense, but seems to have diffused for now.
No, they were burning it, and I actively went over and shoved people out of the way and took it and put it out and saved it. And then I told them to try and do that with my flag, and it obviously did not happen. And one of my friends got the other half. I think his name is Nick.
Okay, what I'm about to say will upset everybody in Portland. You guys have no problems. You don't have any problems that were forced upon you. You are creating your own problems. Like, maybe you could hate me for this, maybe you could call me a Nazi or whatever. These are small issues. Burning a flag, like, people put too much importance on this. Obviously, it's like a symbol, but like, it's just it can be remade. That is not even a nice flag. Like, come on. It needs to be taken into account that more people are stupid than smart in this situation. Like, they don't prioritize the importance of like humans' lives or like their own lives and put themselves in danger and others just for the fact that somebody is burning a flag. Look at him struggling to like take away this flag from the guy. He could have got stabbed.
It did not happen. And one of my friends got the other half.
Why fight for that? It's a flag. Get another one. Get a nicer one. And look, somebody would call this guy a Nazi because he's got the beard, the no sleeves, and the shaved head. A lot of them. But it's just genetics. I wouldn't call him that. But I'm sure that he has been.
I think his name is Nick.
Like, why is Vsauce trying to help with this anyway? Like, people are standing back. See, this guy's smart. He's way back there.
That's the one.
Don't
He got
risk
the
your
other
life
half.
over
President Trump, you
inanimate
mentioned that
objects.
flag.
Not even your car.
That's right. I saw that.
Took this flag from that
Oh,
from
wow.
that man that was burning it in the street.
I saw. Do you know who he is?
Oh yeah, I know exactly who it is.
So why don't you?
Is it illegal? That's the thing. Don't want to lose that tab. No, the court has recognized that the First Amendment protects certain forms of symbolic speech. Wow. So it's not even illegal. It's an inanimate object. If it was worth more, if it was like a bigger flag, like I've said, like I would respect wanting to press charges or whatever over a bigger flag, but like if it's just a small Walmart flag or Temu flag, why are you risking getting like in major hurt over that? Obviously you have issues. You have educational issues.
You give it to Pam, give it to the Attorney General, and let's start prosecutions.
Yeah.
They're not going to take my flag and burn it, and I can't stand to see somebody trying to do that.
For these people in the building, right? This is not what they're used to. They're not used to entire masses of people being herded by giant gas clouds.
You might be wondering, how do these people afford to live here? Well, there are programs that will pay for your housing and you don't have to pay a dime. It just takes a waiting list. And most of the housing here in the city, unless it's like a glass loft, you know, like there are glass lofts. I think there's one building with like a ton of glass lofts that go all the way up the building. Those people are probably paying like $1,000 or plus a month, but nothing more than that. It's a very cheap place to live, especially if you're homeless. If you are homeless, then everything is paid for you. Food stamps is easier to get. Everything is easier to get there. Like that is the problem, is that these people don't have to take accountability on anything that has like that of importance. Therefore, they have all the time in the day to go outside and wear a big Crayola crayon fucking Cat in the Hat thing. I don't even know what this guy's wearing. Like, is that a Iron Man shirt?
So, you know, in the sanctity of
USA
Portland,
catch.
to them, it may feel like a war zone. I know these people want to go
This
to
guy
bed.
obviously
I know these
has
officers want to be home with their families. Some of them are from LA. So something needs to break. They need to get these people out of here. If that's sending in National Guard from California, Oregon, Texas, or even active duty, the president is supposed to protect against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Domestic inside the United States. These are the enemies of, you know, civil living in the United States.
The apparent enemies of the United States, for the most part, seem to either be furries and keffiyehs, semi-unhinged individuals dressed.
Yep.
For the most part, seem to either be furries and keffiyehs,
If I saw this,
unhinged.
If I saw this on the road, I would not go anywhere near there. That dude probably stinks like hell. There's probably like a must coming off of that. Like, oh my gosh, that is bad. That is bad. That's nightmare fuel. That is so scary. Yo, there's some backroom shit right there.
Individuals dressed like superheroes harassing who they believe to be conservative media.
How about you guys go fuck over there?
And of course, right-leaning content creators attempting to engage with people in Black Bloc, which always results in some kind of argument or fistfight. It's an ecosystem where sometimes it feels like everyone needs each other to justify their own existence, and it's hard to tell who's having the most fun.
You see, like, how everybody's standing around, it's like this is 99% of the day, all day. And then, like, the professional news will come out for a little bit. Like the left-leaning side will go, oh, these people are out here, they're protesting, and then they'll leave. I saw yesterday an interview on some live stream, it was like this lady, like, we should incentivize people to come out here and punch Antifa. That would really get our views up. That would really be great. Like, they're so happy for violence. It's just crazy. They're like cheering it on. They're like, as soon as they come out, they're like, yeah, go beat them up. Go do your job, you know, like I mean, they sent 30 guys out to come pull that kid.
Hey, you want my opinion? Like, ever since Asmongold Yes, I watch Asmongold. Yes, I agree with a lot of the things he said. Yes, I think he's funny. He said natural selection. Like, if these people really want war with themselves, they're not going to win a war with the government. They're winning a war against their own, like, just their neighbors, instead of working together because of stupid menial problems. Tiny problems like burning flags. Like, oh, I hate this guy because I have this bad memory of him having a bad day and saying something mean to me. Like, oh my gosh. Therefore he's a fascist, and yeah, and I hate fascists, right? Like, they demonize each other, and they're only fighting with each other. They're not fighting the government. They're never going to win against the government. They're not going to win against the military. They're not paying each other. Once money's involved and people are getting paid, that's when real revolution is happening. These people are not getting paid. They're mostly homeless. They mostly dress like they're homeless too. I mean, I don't think there's very many rich people in Portland.
Who's his foot off the line? They're not doing nothing.
Yeah.
That's not their job.
If you watch Newsmax, News Nation, Fox, you'll see about 15 to 20 minutes every night of the same stuff. And yeah, that's happening. The peaceful protesters are on the public sidewalk. The ICE agents come out of their facility and assault the peaceful protesters. And that's when everything goes to hell. It's not instigated by the protesters, it's instigated by ICE. I spent 22 years of my life upholding the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And these are domestic enemies. Not these folks, not these protesters, but the people back in D.C. running the show.
We should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military.
This is America.
What do you guys think of this statement?
Back in D.C. running the show.
We should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when you are in the military and you're sent to boot camp and you come out of boot camp and you're a sergeant and you haven't experienced anything, even if you've been flown out to other bases across seas and you haven't experienced war, this is like a tiny war. It's like a tiny war. There's constantly, you have to be completely aware, 120 degree vision, like you need to be always active and aware, and training comes in handy when it comes to like disabling somebody with your hands, right? Like just neutralizing a situation in a way that isn't violent will help you counter certain violent situations when you're in war. I'm sure I can't speak on this because I've never been in war and I've never like used violence on somebody in a way that was required of me from the government, right? I wasn't getting paid to do it. These people are getting paid to enforce violence upon opposing forces that risk collateral damage to businesses and things. I think a lot of the hatred for the government and for ICE and everything stems from the fact that some people believe, like I do, like these are just things, they're not hurting anyone, but once it does hurt somebody, yeah, there should be huge repercussions right away, immediate repercussions, even if it's physical, because they are trying to damage somebody else's life. You know how easy it is? Everybody should know this. This should be a simple thing to understand. It is so easy to ruin somebody's life. Forever. Medical industry cannot fix certain things, you know? It is so easy to take somebody's life, cut it short, make sure that they don't live to see tomorrow. Like, I believe a lot of the food regulations and the ways that like people can poison foods, like there was a murder in Japan, I believe, or somewhere in Kyoto, that had they would go to vending machines and they would get like one little snack, whatever is most enticing, whatever's probably most sugary, and whatever would probably be pulled out right away, even drinks, and they would inject it with poison in order to, just cause mass panic and murder. And maybe it was probably an activist. And these people are dangerous. They should be scheduled as a terrorist organization because they are organized and they're terrorizing other people.
This is America at practice. This is what the First Amendment, the most important of all, is all about, is people expressing their peaceful views.
Guess you got bad intel, oops. Sorry, but no war zone being here in Portland. So you can leave now. Have a few donuts, but remember your leader says you can't eat beef fat.
Of tyranny.
A lot of us that have been down on the ground for a while have anticipated we'd get this sort of clash between narrative and reality in Portland. They've been setting up this story about Portland since 2020. It's disappointing to see so many people going along with it, but it's exciting to see that because of how much the spotlight is being focused on Portland and Chicago right now, we're getting a real opportunity to show people that that's not the case, that this isn't a war zone, that it didn't burn to the ground in 2020.
Yeah. To be honest, a lot of this 2020 downplaying made us a bit sad, narrative-wise. There was a lot of energy in the streets back then, and you had people
not burning down, huh? Not burning down?
Sad, narrative-wise.
There was a lot of this in a war zone, that it didn't burn to the ground in 2020.
Oh, yes.
Of the fires they just sparked with 100% conviction and no huge concern about optics and how they'd be perceived by people who weren't even there. And I'm not saying it's good to burn down police stations, but proving how peaceful—
That was a police station? No wonder there's no more police. If somebody burns down your job, place that you work, and you get paid and you felt safe because of the thick walls and bars, if somebody does that, who knows what they'll do to cop cars? Who knows what they'll do if you're just sitting at, oh my gosh. Wearing a bulletproof vest doesn't make you invincible, especially to fire.
You are to conservatives by dressing like a cartoon character isn't exactly moving the needle either. I guess times have changed. Oh well.
I don't know. I wasn't active in the 2020 protests, so I can't speak to how they were on the ground. I mean, I lived around here, but I didn't spend all that much time downtown.
So everybody's out here with a different idea. And so there's no Antifa, there's no like leftist playbook plan. Everybody's just out here because they're emotional and because they care.
Amongst all this hullabaloo, I started to wonder where the hell the real ones were at. The buck-wild Antifas of 2020, who lived and died by this fuck 12 shit. So I made some calls, and thankfully, by the grace of God, I was able to get in touch with some certified steppers from back in the day, who to my surprise—
Okay, we're gonna come back to this. I need to go and be right back, chat. Put this on loop. Everybody can vibe. This is the Portland vibes right here. Get some culture in your life. had to go make something to eat. I was going to just use like, yeah, come back and then, but I ended up making
Guys
food.
were doing their best to stay as far away from the ICE office as possible.
I would say that it is the most surveilled place a person could ever go in their life, and it's full of right-wingers, all with a live stream in their hand, trying to create a situation that can justify more escalation.
You know, the contrast to
Did you
that
say
is
right-wingers or right-wingers? What do you say?
situation that can justify more escalation.
You know, the contrast to that is, for the most part, the same few dozen people who are showing up night after night, grilling hot dogs, rocking inflatable fucking...
What?
People who are showing up night after night, grilling hot dogs.
Bro. Dude, that's like the shit from Marbles. Like, they have a skin in Marbles that's got this ghost thing on it. It looks just like this.
Rocking inflatable fucking frog costumes, twerking and smoking joints in front of federal agents. A
Hey,
lot
what's
of
wrong with
people
that?
have been on the same page for quite some time about what's going on down there. But for the most part, it's a bunch of newly activated people. It's a bunch of liberals. A lot of anti-fascists just like, what the fuck are we doing? We're just like showing up to get surveilled, all for what? Because what are people doing?
It reminds me much more of the raid of Area 51. You guys familiar with that?
Yeah.
When they showed up?
Little tip to anybody. I know this is off subject, but if you want spicy, like soup or noodles, get Cajun. Get C-A-G-U-N. Or not G. J. C-A-J. C. Cajun or something like that. I don't even know how to say it, but it's spicy.
Showing up to get surveilled, all for what? Because what are people doing?
It reminds me much more of the raid of Area 51. You guys familiar with that?
What? Wait, did this actually happen? People ninja ran towards the military?
Yeah.
When they showed up?
With the footage of it, yeah.
There was people in inflatable costumes, vague conspiratorial tones, but probably the anger here is maybe ratcheted up a bit more because it's not quite as campy because ICE is actually, you know, snatching people off the streets.
Especially at this point, it's so fucking unserious. Like, okay, cool, you got 10,000 people to go to your protest in quotes, with the cops blocking the streets and you're holding your signs, you get your pictures, you go home. Like, what has that done? If mass protest did anything, Israel wouldn't still be bombing Gaza right now. Because look how many people started to hit the streets in October and November of last year in support of Palestine. I mean, you can just go through every time there's been mass protests, what has that led to?
Yeah, most of protests are not against the government, not against rules, not against anything. It's just against each other. It's just people fighting with people, and people are not in charge of what happens in the country.
And usually nothing.
So what's the alternative?
I support people protesting however they need to protest.
As much as you like to think. As much as you like to think that people run the country, they don't. You vote. That's all you do. You vote for somebody to make decisions for you. It's not people voting for people's idealistics. It's people voting for a person to make idealistics for them. And they just have to agree. It's such a stupid, broken way to run a country, but I guess it's worked so far, kinda.
As you said before, like, just marching in the streets is easy to ignore. Sometimes you gotta speak a language that they can't ignore.
I mean, look at 2020, when 2020 popped off. I mean, Chauvin was denied a plea deal
I
at
just
that
believe
time.
that-
Bill Barr said he was worried about more escalation.
I believe that the US would be far ahead in technology, medical, less people would have died. A lot of better things would have happened if the people who are in the country who have enough money, right? These are wealthy people, they have enough money to get things done, were supported. Because most of the people who donate or whatever, or like give away their wealth that they've made from being in a what's the word? What is the word? No, not conservative. It's where you can make money, monopolies and all that. They made their money illegitimately and they're giving it back, like being a Twitch streamer or something. I believe that being a Twitch streamer, you made your money illegitimately. I do. Even like all this online money, it's not made with your hands. You literally put out a video and it's like you're fishing. It's like fishing, and sometimes you just catch a lot of fish. But these people who have all this money, and they're like, "Oh, I'll donate 400K if Aiden Ross donates 400K or Kaisenat or something." You know, these guys I'm talking about, these incredibly wealthy people at young ages, my age, that fucking, or no, they're older than me. That fucking, they get all this money, and what do they do with it? They buy mansions, they buy clothes, they buy all this like statusy stuff. You know, it's their money. They can spend it how they want, right? It's their money. I believe that a lot of people give these people money in order to make a change in the world. And if we were to more, like, cultivate a culture where people give amounts of money not to organizations but to build their own, you know, the people who actually built the organization like explain everything and are not vague about their charity, then we would have made it to different places. Like, greed is the ultimate thing that kills America every time. It's all the greed. Other countries probably would have joined the US by now if we hadn't have had so much greed. Like, I think that people just hate us outside the country because we have more dollar value because of greed, because of scammy ways that the country made the dollar more expensive than other countries, literally. And it's still happening.
So, I mean, that's recent proof that riots work. So, yeah, I mean, targeted property destruction, I think, is a great tactic for those that are willing to do it.
How can you avoid getting in trouble when you have to do targeted property destruction?
No face, no case.
What's the dopest example of targeted property destruction that comes to mind, besides January 6th?
I think that the people in Atlanta, some of which are still on trial, deserve so much fucking credit for their efforts to stop Cop City. I think that what they did really is so admirable.
Protesters have been accused of throwing Molotov cocktails at police and torching construction equipment, among other acts.
And they faced the most serious consequences from state repression.
What sort of consequences for somebody unfamiliar?
So 61 of them got RICO charges, which just recently sounds like they're dropping, but there's still a handful that do have domestic terrorism charges.
And that could land them in federal prison for a while, right? Yeah. Well, is it a Georgia state RICO?
I think it's state RICO. Do you remember if the domestic terrorism charges are federal or state? I can't remember if they're all state or not.
I can't remember either, but I feel like something like domestic terrorism charges would be federal, right?
Yeah. Well, if it's a state RICO, you guys familiar with Young Thug?
Yeah.
He beat his state RICO.
Here is an interview with two self-described anti-fascists who've been in the game for a while, and just to clarify, had absolutely no hand in the killing of Osama bin Laden.
All right, great to meet you guys. Thanks so much for making the time. I appreciate it. So I guess the first question off the bat is, how would y'all describe yourselves politically?
What we just witnessed just then, that's the Portland handshake. I've learned the Texas handshake, which is like you slide your hand, grab each other's like the end of the fingertips up, down, and then like a snap or something, or like that's it. Like, that's just a handshake. But this is like the slide skater type handshake that they got going on. This is the Portland handshake, though. Everybody does this.
You could see the people's children
of America. Hi, great to meet you guys. Thanks so much for making the time.
Portland handshake,
I appreciate it.
there.
So I guess the first question off the bat is, how would y'all describe yourselves politically?
I'm an anti-fascist.
Anti-fascist, anarchist, too. Nobody should inherently have any more power over anybody else, and people should be able to be free to make whatever decisions they want.
What do you guys think
The way they just said, "I'm an anti-fascist," it sounds like they really want somebody to be upset that they are that. It's just so weird the way they say things. I don't know. Yeah, I don't relate with it. I guess I don't understand it, but just why? Why the, like, weird attitude?
Current state of America is, like, are we headed toward a fascist takeover?
We are well in a fascist takeover.
I think people have been planning for this for a long time, politicians namely. I think 2016 is when it became very transparent and when a lot of people started to catch on, because Trump wasn't good at playing the cards close to his chest, so to say. He was very outspoken about his goals and intentions, and you could see the people that he was radicalizing. And
These people, by the way, all these people, right? These are the people that hustle. I don't think bro is in the right place. Anyway, These people, anti-fascists are what Hasanabi supports. This is like his whole thing. He's the voice for these people, apparently.
For, like Charlottesville and just the growing right-wing
I'm
movement
just
and
learning
white
all this.
supremacist movement. They just became so much more emboldened that it wasn't ignorable anymore.
So you feel like it built mainly from 2016 until this present moment. What are some things happening right now that you look at as like a 100% foolproof sign of fascism coming into the fold?
So in February 2024, Stephen Miller laid this out in a
Don't know who
podcast
that
with
is.
Charlie Kirk, which The Atlantic did an article on. And
Honestly, Chet, I don't know who Charlie Kirk was, what he said to make people mad. All I saw was just a killing of a person, and I had no idea who he was, and I still don't know who he is. I haven't seen any videos of Charlie Kirk. It's almost like he was irrelevant to my demographic or something, but I don't know who Charlie Kirk is. I've never even heard of him until he was killed.
in that,
And I'm
he
terminally
laid out
online.
Trump's plans
People
to
would call
do
me
exactly
terminally
what he's
online.
doing now, which is to take National Guard from red states, to put them into blue states, and to hopefully get a response that justifies more escalation on his part, which would look like the military coming in then. So, I mean, that's like a very transparently stated goal. And I mean, Stephen Miller is just like, he can take any quote he says and match it up with half the
Illinois and Chicago sue Trump over National Guard deployment. Who?
shit that got said in, name it, like 1920s, 1930s Italy, 1930s, 1940s Germany, like, it's all the same shit.
We are the storm, and our enemies cannot comprehend our strength, our determination, our resolve, our passion. Our lineage and our legacy hails back to Athens, to Rome, to Philadelphia.
And so you mentioned that what's happening in Portland now is an attempt to escalate the situation to use anti-fascist response as a precursor to infringe more upon people's civil rights and freedoms.
I think they'd love to see that.
For you guys, as anti-fascists, do you feel like you have to resist taking the bait when it comes to the current situation
where
down there
are
at the
these
ICE building?
Discord
Or do you still feel like it's worth it to show up and,
That's a really good question, and I think there's a lot of nuance that comes with it, because on one hand, you hear the don't take the bait rhetoric from local Democratic officials. They say don't take the bait. For example, after it was announced that the National Guard was being deployed in Portland, a bunch of our officials made a press conference talking about not taking the bait.
Right now, the most powerful response to the presence of federal troops in our city is not to give in to provocation.
Let's not take the bait. Let's not respond.
Let's not be baited by federal bullying tactics.
Even though in this very same press conference, they acknowledged the fact that everything on the news, everything people were saying about Portland, just all this rhetoric was blown extremely out of proportion. 2020 were being spread as if they're happening right now. Lies that the city is set on fire. Even our senator acknowledged driving by the ICE building and seeing 3 women peacefully protesting. And in turn, that very same day, Trump saying, that people are sieging the building or whatever the fuck.
These are crazy people, and they're trying to burn down buildings, including federal buildings. But we're going to get out there, and we're going to do a pretty big number of those people in Portland.
So I think there's a very big difference with rhetoric from people like that who are saying not to take the bait, even though they don't need bait to do what they're doing. They're already escalating. They're already launching attacks on citizens and Portland civilians without anything happening. But at the same time, there is something to be said about taking the bait in other ways and thinking strategically and tactfully. If you look at everything that's happening right now, it's a direct result of the far-right grifting machine. It's a direct result of these lying propagandists, none of which who live in Portland, none of which who are from Portland, but they have been fixated on Portland for almost a decade. And this is the direct result of their lies that we're seeing. Every night they're going to ICE and they're calling on more of these patriots to come and protect the building and to protect the federal officers down there at ICE. And when they're showing up to instigate fights, to provoke people, I think there's something to be said about taking the bait in some situations like that. So I think it's important to not conflate, the term taking the bait, because I do think direct action is important. I do think standing up for what's right is important. but I also think there's a way to do so in a smart way and in a way that is actually like benefiting your community and taking care of your community.
One thing you mentioned too is the right-wing outrage ecosystem. So I was here in 2020. I think you guys probably were too, but I'm not quite sure. And it was a totally different vibe on the ground. There was some content creators, but it was far more protesters and people involved in direct action. We went down there the other night, and it was mostly people live streaming, a few protesters. And whenever you mention the right-wing outrage machine, are you talking about content creators, or are you talking more about like podcasters speaking from their homes? Like, can you describe the relationship between those two things?
I mean, I would say all of it. It's all part of the same ecosystem, right? You have these supposed, journalists on the far right that are directly embedded with federal officers who are being granted access to the rooftop at ICE, while major local publications are being denied same access. And they're up there night after night making lies, spreading lies about what's going on in Portland. And these same people are being invited onto Fox News. They're now being invited to go.
This is all hearsay. It's like, really? Is it happening? Nobody knows. So how am I supposed to be invested in any of this? Of what these people who are masked saying? When you put on the mask, guys, when you put on the mask, it doesn't really, like, the importance of what you say kind of goes in one ear and out the other, because who are you? Like, why am I listening to you? Right? That's why I don't think that, like, HOODEEZ as a channel should be about this sort of thing. I just think it's very, very relevant to, like, my past, because I used to be here. Also, I wanted to watch this video, and I wanted to see if Portland was actually on fire, but it turns out it looks like it's not. It really doesn't look like everything's on fire right now.
Speak and share their stories at the White House. It just kind of trickles down. You have influencers doing the same thing. Maybe they're not getting invited to the same places or getting the same opportunities, but they're all doing the same thing. They're all spreading the same message. They're all working together.
What is the message they're spreading about Portland? Like, in one sentence, what would you say it is?
The misunderstanding of what anarchy means. I think that's what they make it out to be. Chaos, anarchy.
I think that you have demons in your head and you are making shit up on your own. Because if it wasn't true, then why are you giving, like, any sort of brain power to it? People understand what anarchist mean. Like, come on. Show us what anarchists mean. Like, if it doesn't mean anything, or if it means something, then who cares? Like, make it count, make it matter then.
On fire. All of that couldn't be further from the truth.
This is a call out to corporate media who has completely ignored this story or has falsely reported on it. This is nothing short other than a...
Dude, Trump is the funniest president and person. Like, he's a character. He's so funny. Like, look at the jaw poking out.
Falsely reported on it. This
Looks like a frog. He looks like something that Naruto would summon.
is nothing short other than a sustained attack on the United States, which is being supported by Democratic elected officials.
It's like especially ridiculous because in the weeks leading up to Portland getting all this attention, the people showing up down there were very liberal and even on their microphones were discouraging anyone from showing up in Black Bloc, discouraging any kind of escalation.
This is bananas. Chat. This is bananas. Why do people like this exist? You might ask yourself. Anybody. Anybody out there. It's just human nature. And this is since the dawn of, like, not agriculture. Maybe it is agriculture. It's the dawn of villages and stuff, like back in the day when we used spears and everything and made tools with stones. People will do anything to feel welcomed and like they belong and like they're standing for something, whether that just be taking care of their fellow friends. And this is what we're witnessing when that happens. It's just another group. It's just another group. It's harmless. Look at them playing their instruments. It's completely harmless. Practicing their rights for us. Most of us don't really practice our rights to the extent. They're doing it for us just to make sure that the law stays relevant. I appreciate that. This thing back here that you're looking at, this is a line, like I think it's called a skyline, and it's like it carries you. You get in like a ball thing, and it carries you on a wire across it. It's pretty chill. Never been on it. Too expensive.
It was very structured. They had people wearing vests and armbands and being like, if there's any conflict, go to these people. So the people going down there weren't even remotely who right-wingers have created the situation down there to be.
Yeah, one thing that's super interesting, because I like to call it like imagined cultural geography. You know, it's like, because everyone now is like chronically inside, and they're learning about reality through their favorite podcaster and live streamer. And the right has created a mythical Portland in the imagination of American conservatives, ranging from young, like Charlie Kirk fans, to old, like people's grandparents. And they actually think that Portland is like a war zone controlled by Antifa, or like tweakers. I don't know what they think. It's like controlled by like communist Antifa tweakers who basically like, well, I don't know what they think is happening here. But just to clarify, is Portland a war zone?
No, absolutely not. And night after night, when there are escalations, the escalations are coming from federal agents.
Which you can see in all their own propaganda. Like, almost all their propaganda is the feds doing violence to people that are just standing there yelling in front of a driveway. And like, even where that's happening is just a very small city block that's not even like in the central part of the city. There's nothing happening here.
For somebody at home right now who wants to visit Portland, not to attend a protest or counter-protest, what are some areas that you'd recommend going as a visitor for the first time to catch the true vibe of the city?
Northeast Portland, Southeast. There's so much in the city that's just so lively. You walk around anywhere you go.
You can climb up to this sign. You can take an elevator or whatever, the stairs up to the top of this parking garage, and you can literally sit next to the sign and smoke a blunt, and that's why I love the city.
So much in the city that's just so lively. You walk around anywhere you go, there's people riding their bikes, there's people skateboarding, there's people going on walks, people sitting outside eating brunch.
They have a sick skate park. They have an awesome fucking skate park. I think Tony Hawk visited the skate park. It's underneath a bridge, and it's got a ton of vert. Like, it's just a vert skate park. And like barely any flat ground.
Sitting at cafes. It's a beautiful city, and it's really, really sad to see this false narrative that's been created and that's spreading like wildfire throughout the nation.
Why do you think Trump in particular has been so fervent about targeting Portland, Oregon?
I think one of the reasons is the anti-fascist scene in Portland. Anti-fascism in Portland.
It's almost like they just don't have any other vocabulary.
It's cultural here. It goes...
They have to say anti-fascism. They have to sneak that into every single, like, sentence they say. They're not normal people. They stand for something. They're villagers. Villagers. Puck, you are going crazy, buddy. Are you okay? Do I gotta get you a shock collar? Puck, just fucking, you're being such a baby.
So far back. It's truly cultural here, and people have been fighting back and resisting the organizing of white supremacist groups as far back as like the Great Depression. I think the genuine anti-fascist community is a big reason for that. You know, he's trying to quell his dissidents, and him and other officials in the government are very outspoken about that.
Can you tell me a little bit about the history of anti-fascism in Portland? Like, when did it really start to coalesce as a broad cultural thing?
I think probably with like anti-racist action in the 90s, right? Would you say here in Portland?
Are you fucking kidding me? Did he just say what I think he said? Like I said, there is an education issue here, and that's what I think spawns all of this. These people, they can't say anything without the word fascist in it, and the word 90s.
I think probably with like anti-racist action in the 90s, right?
90s, cause Portland, right?
You say here in Portland?
It goes back a lot further than...
You're from Portland, right? Yeah, you like the 90s?
Not, 20th century shit, but in the 80s and 90s, yeah, there was a lot of anti-racist organizing that was forming in response to the organization of like various white supremacist groups, Aryan Nation, KKK, like, the list goes on. There's the ARA, there's Sharps, civil rights groups, labor unions. These people, they were all mobilizing in response to white supremacy. And when I say that anti-fascism in Portland is cultural, and it has been for a really long time, I don't think people understand how deep it really goes. You know, the music scene in Portland is really big, and it has been for a long time, and that was also a big part of it. In the 80s and 90s, there were so many bands that were incorporating anti-fascist messaging into their music, even into their lyrics.
It's the same thing in Seattle.
What are you doing, Puck? Are you really digging your claws right into my leg, buddy?
Like, I don't think people understand rural Pacific Northwest is like the most racist spot. And there's like the most, I don't know what it is about the culture, because even in the South, it's still more integrated. So there is like clan groups, but some of these Washington towns, like Eastern Oregon, like they want to secede and become the state of Jefferson. They buy into the, you know, Portland myth more than anybody else. I remember when I was a kid, one of the first things I was only 2 years old at the time, but the WTO riots in Seattle were one of the first, I think, times that the greater public became familiar with like how people get down in the Pacific Northwest. But what I'm curious about from you guys is, when did Black Bloc start, and what is the purpose of wearing it today?
WTO was a big part of getting like the Black Bloc tactic on a lot.
Well, you see, it's good to stand out as like a threatening color. So we chose black so that we could move in the night and not be seen so easily by certain people who have like disabilities or something. If we don't like them, we probably can do something in the night. We're like ninjas. Have you played Sekiro? I've got a rope with like a hook on the end. I've been practicing. Want to see? Like, what is up with these guys? You don't have to wear the masks. If you want to wear the mask, go ahead, but why black? Like, why all black? You guys look like a terrorist organization. If it's supposed to come off as a terrorist organization, I get that. But now look what you've done. Like, you got the military in your city, and I'm guessing that's because you guys set the buildings on fire. Like, it's... And if you guys didn't, then maybe somebody affiliated with fascist hating set the buildings on fire. It's just, it makes the group look bad because that happened, and you guys aren't fighting, or like not, you guys are advocating for it. You want more fires in Portland. You haven't said you hadn't. You just say, I hate fascists, I hate rich people. But these are not rich people that you're burning down and that you're hurting. The only way to hurt rich people is by becoming more rich. Is by sharing the wealth and building businesses of your own. That's the only way to destroy rich people, is to take the money that they're making by making your own business and competing with them. That's the only way to destroy rich people. So why aren't these people all ganging together and doing that? Because they have an education issue.
People's radar, and I think there are a lot of misconceptions that come along with Black Bloc. People see folks wearing Black Bloc.
And when I say education issue, I don't mean school. I don't mean government school. I don't mean college. I don't mean any of that. It's your phone. If you have an education, you, the viewer right now listening to this, have an education issue if you cannot open your phone and look up information on things that you do not know. You have an education issue because you cannot learn, and that you refuse to learn, and that you're too lazy to learn, that you don't have an interest in learning. That is an education issue. And it only gets worse if you don't feed into educating yourself. If you don't find fun in doing it, then you're just going to be like these guys.
And automatically assume some kind of political affiliation or allegiance.
Self-righteous.
They think oftentimes anarchist, which may be true a lot of the time. But Black Bloc isn't a uniform. Black Bloc is a tactic. And it was a tactic that had to be adapted because of the intense surveillance and criminalization that the left has faced for decades and decades.
What's the current benefit of wearing all black and making it so nobody can identify you?
It depends on the context. Sometimes it's not always the smartest move. Sometimes just wearing regular clothes and, you know, surgical mask and a hat.
We also don't shower to deter the fascists.
The whole point of the tactic is to not draw attention to yourself, or to stay anonymous so that people can't identify you. And so sometimes Black Bloc is the best move if you're around a lot of other people that are wearing the same thing, but sometimes it's not the best move.
Is there...
Because they're committing crimes. If they were easily recognizable, the police would be like, hey, that's the guy that was at the protest. They did so-and-so crime. We can arrest them. These people are committing crimes, and it's not hurting rich, it's not hurting fascists, it's actually entertaining them, if anything. These guys are clowns that think that they have a voice, but they're not doing anything legitimate within the community to actually build a strong relationship with each other. These people probably all hate each other. You know, like they probably aren't all friends. They just wear all black and they all go the same thing. Therefore, they know, don't attack me. It's a shield. That's why they wear all black. I'm sure these guys don't want to wear these dirty black clothes. I'm sure they made them dirty black and everything on purpose in order to protect themselves while they're at these activist movements, because they know that, oh, you look like me. I shouldn't be attacking you. I'll attack this guy instead. Like, it's absolutely animalistic. They are only fighting with each other, and it doesn't solve anything.
You know, is there intense harassment campaigns to dox and identify anti-fascists in Portland?
Yeah, of course. There's Andy, there's Antifa Watch, there's countless right-wing telegrams. They're always working to try to identify people, especially in cities like Seattle or Portland, where we are viewed as like these anti-fascist hubs. They really want to like identify who's involved with what.
And after they identify you, what is their typical course of action? Do they contact your employer? Like, how far does it go?
Harassment, death threats, showing up to your house.
I know countless people who have been directly impacted by that type of violence, the violence that's caused by these doxing and harassment campaigns. Massive doxing and harassment campaigns, by the way, from people with extremely large followings and online presence. Unfortunately, that has resulted in, like, yes, so many people getting fired, but it's also resulted in people getting hurt and even killed. The Normandale shooting that happened in Portland, the shooter was a Andy No follower.
There's probably going to be people who watch this who are more, consider themselves to be more centrist, and they might point to the killing of Jay, who was like a Proud Boy. And he was shot and killed by an anti-fascist who was later killed pretty much extrajudicially by, I think it was National Guardsmen or some sort of armed task force that was sent directly by Trump. Do you guys see any kind of both sides responsibility as far as escalating violence?
I mean, with that particular situation, definitely not. There's footage of Jay macing him before Michael shot back. So with that particular situation, especially not. But any action that someone might point to as being like anti-fascist or violence, it's always in a defensive way. We're not going into communities and terrorizing people or threatening people or like...
Really? Let's just hear this statement again. How honest. Okay, I want everybody to put on their skeptic glasses and listen to his voice. Even through the filter, you can hear the lies. Like, just listen to it.
Footage of Jay macing him before Michael shot back. So with that particular situation, especially not. But any action that someone might point to as being like anti-fascist or violence, it's always in a defensive way. We're not going into communities and terrorizing people or threatening people or like doing what right-wingers do when they do come. For instance, when that happened, driving hundreds of trucks into Portland, aiming literal live rounds.
Oh, you mean these people who have money and they are practicing their rights by just showing how much they love America and love the right side and the business side because it has brought them happiness into their life. The thing that you guys fight against, making money or putting yourself into certain situations where you can make more money. You know, opportunities, rather than having it just given to you like in Portland. Like, it's very sad to see that these people are so confused. Because I know that most of them would choose a better life if it was put in front of them, but they don't put it in front of themselves. That's what you have to do in order to get this big truck and everything. In order to have a company truck, you saw the
doing into Portland.
You see the drivers right here. These guys are making good money. They're making good money, and they probably own their trucks. These trucks probably cost 80 grand at the least. In order to afford a full payment on a truck or to pay it off, they worked very hard to get to where they're at. This is one of the most American things that you can be, is like a person who puts opportunity in front of yourself. I'm sure that they had parents that were like, hey, go drive or whatever, but they still had to do the driving. They still had to learn how to get the permit. They still had to learn to go to everything. It's a respectable thing to do because you have learned a skill that is valuable and will not be replaced by AI for a few years. I do see truck drivers and drivers in general being replaced with AI.
Aiming literal live rounds, real guns at people driving through town, doing whatever they can to just
Especially with all the
to
accents
equate
they
them
have.
both is just
And
dishonest.
liability.
How do you feel about the designation of Antifa as a domestic terrorist group?
It's so silly and would be so funny if the consequences weren't so fucked up. If you ask any of them to define how Antifa is an organization, no one can do it. Like, they might bring up Rose City Antifa or other groups where those are very specific groups that are anti-fascist, but not everyone's Rose City Antifa. Like, we're not Rose City Antifa. To point to specific groups and being like, so they're all an organization is just so silly.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of people that care about the same things and sometimes come together to defend said things.
And I also think it's a dehumanizing effort to basically blanket any enemy as a terrorist. That will make any further action, especially violent or militaristic action, more justified in the eyes of people that aren't involved. Personally, I think that's more so the intent of trying to brand Antifa as a terrorist organization, is to basically separate anti-fascists from, like, the population at large.
Here's the thing. Most people don't give a fuck about this, and good for you. Good for you. Good on you for not having stupid shit taking up your day all day, and you make your whole personality it. Imagine how happy you should be right now. Because really you should be super happy for yourself for not falling into this trap. Like, don't be like these guys. Don't join a group and then get wholeheartedly put into it because you think that you belong. These guys don't belong to each other. They could give a fuck about each other. They say things that probably sound nice, but what have they done for each other, really? Except for put each other in danger.
I guess.
I also think that it's manufacturing consent for what might come in the future.
Is there any way
Trump
to, like,
has not been quiet about wanting to
to these
quell
guys?
his
I'm
dissidents.
sorry, Andrew,
I mean, look
it's
at what's
just-
happening now.
I don't find these guys to be, like, they're not running the organization, they're just from the organization. They, like, who are these people, really? They're through the whole video. I'm just gonna end it here. Yeah. Let's see the comments. The ground news thing, I think that's might be a good idea for people who want the stress from knowing what's going on. Obviously, I don't care about any of this. I think this is all stupid unless there's actually buildings on fire currently. Otherwise, it's just imaginary issues. Hearing about Portland while living in Portland must feel like so much gaslighting. Yeah. I'd love to join your live stream whenever you're streaming. Add me on Discord. My username is Sammy. Okay. I don't know what that means. Join my live stream. I'm watching this from downtown Portland right now. My beer is flat. My arson fries are cold. Artesian fries are cold and soggy. It's truly hollow. Hell. It's so true. Because these people don't have any issues, really. One building burns down. It was a police building. But still. Like, and the whole thing goes haywire. I think it was a good reason to send people out there, but still not the best way to handle, like, things. I don't think the military being out there is the best use of resources. Unless it's like a very small amount of soldiers. That's it. The GEO group sounds like a literal cartoon villain. What? Puck, what are you doing, dude? How are you making so much noise? Oh, it's a cardboard box. It's Loki, and then I said his name and he stops. It's Loki such a big deal that Andrew can speak Spanish for the... That was insane! That was insane. I didn't know Andrew could speak fluent Spanish like that. Without, like, a weird American accent. Very scary how Antifa super soldier frogs can freely violent. See, there's nothing of substance or value here. You are not learning anything from this otherwise than I was homeless in Portland. These people are crazy. This is where I come from. And this is why I feel like I've lost a lot of the crazy stuff that, like, kids do, you know, growing up, like teenagers, is because I was here. I got to do all this shit. That was insane. And you get it out of your system and you grow. That's it. Like, climbing buildings, doing drugs. I mean, drugs, quote unquote, mushrooms and, you know, weed. It's not like a huge big deal, but like everybody does it there recreationally, and they do it in the streets. But like, there are a stupid amount of drugs that are legal there. I think it's heroin and meth are legal there. I'm not sure. Let's see. Is meth or heroin legal in Portland? Okay, recriminalization in 2024. So, it was legal. Reverse the state's previous decriminalization of hard drugs, heroin, and methamphetamines. It was legal. I wonder why the buildings were burning down and people were going insane and hurting each other. I wonder why. Anyway, thank you for joining. I think this was a great stream.